Hey guys, it's Lucy. Today we're going to talk about this book, The Confessions of a Bookseller by Shaun Bythell. And this author also wrote two other titles along similar veins. The first one is The Diary of a Bookseller, and then the other one is Seven Kinds of People You Find in Bookshops. So this is not a completely new book. It's fairly new, copyright 2019. But I think it's not overly hyped like a few other titles that I read earlier last month. I wanted to focus on shining a light on books that I think are maybe under discussed and not so hot topics in the moment. And I think this is exactly that. So what's cool about the format of this is that it's written like a diary, like entries every day. So over 320 pages, the author writes a blip of something every day, not almost every day, every single day. So each entry talks about the day at the bookstore, and on average they are less than a page. So super easy to read, especially if you're in any kind of reading rut. It's not difficult to zone in, zone out, and just take breaks. It's good for vacations too, because you're not reading for like a prolonged period of time, following like really long paragraphs and chapters. These are super short, and what really strike me, like towards just a few pages in, is that Shaun is an extremely sarcastic guy. It's very funny in a laid back, dry humor type of way. The setting is a small town bookstore in rural Scotland. And if I were to describe this in one word, it would be endearing. I could really see this as a sitcom type of situation where the main setting would be the bookstore, and maybe you get some other sets like the pub and the main room where the writers sometimes have workshops, or like his friends host dancing classes, whatever. And then Shaun would be the protagonist, and you've got these characters around him, including the employees who've got their own flares of character, and also his friends. And sometimes they'll go away on day trips and get all these like scenic views of maybe hikes around Scotland, and him going on like buying trips. So I think this was a very refreshing type of read that's really different than your normal fiction, just because of that, the diary format, and also the observations that he makes about, I think, real life customers. It is so random, the things that he notes down. Like it's flashes of insight about all the random questions or things that people do and say and ask, and I just find that sometimes laugh out loud funny. So this is extremely enjoyable. The last cool thing that was my takeaway out of this, and I heard this from, I think, news or some sort of media before, maybe an article talking about travel, and I linked it to this book. So Wicktown has another bookstore called The Open Book, and it's actually a rental available on Airbnb where people can take vacations, or they'll rent the accommodations, and the accommodations come with a bookstore. So whoever is making the booking, they can choose to run the bookstore as part of their vacation experience. So this is still like a live thing, and they're booked all the way, like completely full, until January 2025, based on when I just checked it a few minutes ago. But there are like 130 reviews, and the average rating is 4.91, which is super high. So people seem to really enjoy the experience and the town. I think for COVID, there was a note that you don't have to open the bookstore if you're not comfortable, but you still, it's business as usual otherwise. So I'm gonna link that Airbnb link in the description just for fun if you want to look at pictures. But I think this Wicktown thing might be something that I myself keep an eye on for the future. and that was a really cool real life takeaway. So, Confessions of a Bookseller, highly recommend. And I hope you guys are reading things that, make you feel lighthearted as well. Nothing is ever, totally doom and gloom. But so I think sometimes we all need a book like this to lighten things up. Hope you have a great day. Bye.